Indian Army has spotted what they think are footprints of the Yeti. Yes, indeed, this is Yeti, the mystical character which is apparently there in Himalayas, and on your screens you can see what are believed to be the footsteps of Yeti. Now, the reason why this is being believed is because of the size of the footprints, which is massive, which is 13 by 5 inches long and wide, which is why they are claiming that this is none other than Yeti. There is already something which has been tweeted out. These pictures on your screens tweeted out by the Indian Army. The Army team who had gone there on an excursion has managed to spot this. So let me go across to Srinjoy. Srinjoy, this is massive because this has been part of folklore, if you may. And if we have a proof of this, this may just lead to a lot of scientific interest as well.
Well, this is the day of Baghdadi and the Yeti. First of all, these pictures, just as far as the Yeti is concerned, what the army says is the Yeti, the so-called Yeti. So far, only footprints have been found, which is fine. But to believe that there is such an animal called the Yeti, or whatever, a snowman called the Yeti, there has to be much more evidence. Now, all you have are footprints in the snow, and very large footprints. Now, there are good reasons why they could be very large footprints. For instance, if there is something on the ice, if there is a footprint on the ice melts, and subsequently it freezes again, by which time the footprint would be larger. So there are reasons for such things, but nevertheless, these are very interesting photographs, and surely the army will go to biologists and other experts and look at them. It has to be mentioned that in 1951, very similar footprints were found by Eric Shipton, the mountaineer. And he too had photographed them along with an ice axe, as the army has done.
And Srinjoy, was that also in roughly the same area in the Nepal region as they've been discovered this time around?
No, at that time, it was also in Nepal, but a slightly different part of Nepal. It has to be said it was done in 1951, after which Sir Edmund Hillary himself and journalist Desmond Doig, the late Desmond Doig, they tried to find the Yeti. There was an expedition in the late 60s. Again, it was not found. These people stayed at 19,000 feet above in the mountains for a long time looking for the Yeti, but it was not found. Now, these are new pictures. We will have to see what happens. The army says...
Absolutely. Do stay on with...
Near here is where Shipton took his remarkable photograph. The image that started the West's obsession
It
with
was
the Yeti.
Late in the afternoon on November the 8th, 1951, and Shipton and the expedition's Dr. Michael Ward were working on a glacier a couple of miles from here. And then suddenly they came across a set of huge footprints that went away from them down the glacier, and it left them completely mystified.
The mystery footprints were about 12 inches long and 5 inches wide. Shipton even had the presence of mind to use his own ice axe to give a sense of scale.
To find any footprints at such high altitude was simply inexplicable, so high above the tree line and so high above any human habitation. They didn't look like the footprints of a man, a bear or a yak, the only animals that could even conceivably be on a glacier at this altitude. But the Sherpas knew exactly what they were: Yeti footprints.
Another member of the Shipton team, Tom Bordelon, saw the footprints a few days later. And when he wrote a letter home, he used the memorable phrase, "The abominable snowman is not a myth." Shipton's picture made headlines around the globe. Nowadays, they'd be cries of hoax. But back in the 1950s, respectable adventurers were taken at their word. This iconic photograph marked a new beginning, and Yeti Mania was born.
Take us through, because it's mind-boggling. 32 by 15 inches long and wide footprints.
You know, Meghna, ever since Yeti footprints and these pictures were tweeted by the Twitter handle of the Indian Army, there has been a debate, so to say, on social media. There's a lot of interest that this topic is inviting on social media. And we've accessed these new pictures that Shinjo has sent, and look at the size of the footprint here. These are obviously trekking gears that the expedition team had taken along with it. Let's go to the next picture and see. They are trying to measure the footprint here. You can see a couple of Jawans from the Indian Army expedition team. Let's go to the next one here. Meghna, this is the main picture. This, they would have us believe, is the footprint of Yeti. We have more such pictures here. They are using one of those gears to perhaps measure the size of the footprint. There are also people on social media asking about the veracity of the claims made by the Indian Army. Many refuse to believe it, and they are saying that how is it that there is only one footprint? So now these are obviously questions which will be debated, and we'll have to wait and watch how the Indian Army, if it chooses to respond, what it says in its response, Meghna.
Well, of course, we're going to be tracking the developments very closely and see if there are any more pictures coming up. But just to be very clear, 32 inches is roughly this big. So who really has a footprint that big? Well, hopefully the scientists can find out. We cannot vouch for its veracity.
किंतु जो चित्र सामना को आसी जो फोटो सामना को आसुची केउठु ना केउठु एक कथा मध्ये स्पष्ट होउची आसंतु देखिनबा एही स्पेशल रिपोर्ट
हिमालय रे हिममानव बा येतीर पादचिन्ह भारतीय सेना पक्षरु हिमालय रे हिममानव थिबार किछि फोटोचित्र जारी करा जायछि बरफ रे हिममानव रहुथिबार चर्चा दशंधि धरी चली आसुछि किंतु एबे जो चित्र सामना को आसी ताकू नहीं चर्चा बढ़ी हिमालय रे थिबा गुंफा रे आज भी हिममानव रहुछंती बोली कुहा जाउथिले भी एपर्यंत एमानकु नै किछि स्पष्ट चित्र सामना को आसी पारि नाही किंतु एबे प्रथम थर पई भारतीय सेना पक्षरु हिममानव बा येतीर उपस्थिति नै दाबी करा जायछि पूर्व नेपाल अंतर्गत हिमालयर मकालु बेस कैंप निकटरे एही विशालकाय रहस्यमय पादचिन्ह देखिबाकु मिलिथिबा सेना पक्षरु ट्विटर रे उल्लेख करा जायछि एही फोटो गुड़िक एप्रिल 9 तारिखर होइथिबा बेले एहाकु एप्रिल 29 रे ट्वीट करा जायछि एहार आकार तथा लंब 32 इंच ओ ओसार 15 इंच रहिछि अतीतरे मकालु बैरून नेशनल पार्क निकटरे एही हिममानव देखिबाकु मिलिथिला ट्विटर रे भारतीय सेना पक्षरु किछि फोटो शेयर करा जिबा परे अनेक प्रश्न मध्ये उठिछि येतीर उपस्थिति को नै यूजर्स प्रश्न उठाइछन्ति फोटो रे बरफ उपरे बड़ बड़ पाद चिन्ह देखिबाकु मिलिछि एहा हिममानव बा येतीर पाद चिन्ह बोली कहा जाउछि हिममानव बा येती हिमालय रे रहुतिबा सबुठु विरल प्राणी अटे विशेष करी नेपाल तिब्बतर हिमालय क्षेत्र मध्य एशिया और साइबेरिया रे येती देखिबाकु मिले बोली कहा जाए तेबे वैज्ञानिक माने एहाकु एक काल्पनिक जीव भाबे वर्णना करिसंती ब्यूरो रिपोर्ट कनक न्यूज
Mountaineers from the Indian Army on an expedition in Nepal have found mysterious large footprints in the snow that they think belong to the Yeti, aka the abominable snowman. Tales of a huge beast have captured the imagination of climbers in Nepal for nearly a century, prompting many, including Sir Edmund Hillary, to go looking for the creature. Lauren Anthony reports.
These suspiciously large footprints have got Indian mountaineers convinced. They believe they have discovered the legendary beast from the east, or in other words, a Yeti. Though commonly held as a myth, the abominable snowman, said to live high in the snow-capped Himalayas, is part of Nepali folklore. On an expedition in Nepal, the Indian Army spotted what appeared to be huge paw prints, measuring 32 by 15 inches each, close to a camp near Mount Makalu. Makalu is placed on the border between Nepal and China. It's among the highest mountains in the world and stands near the Makalu-Barun Valley. It's also a remote wilderness that has been surveyed in the past by researchers hunting for the Yeti. Tales of a large, wild, hairy beast roaming the Himalayas have captured the attention of climbers since the 1920s, but scientists are yet to find any concrete evidence of the creature's existence so far. Researchers thought they had discovered proof in 2017, having found what they believed to be Yeti samples collected from across the Himalayan region.
And the Indian Army on Monday claimed to have sighted footprints of Yeti, a mystical creature that many over the decades claim to have seen but not been able to show proof of. Now, sharing images on their official Twitter handle, the Indian Army said that the mountaineering expedition team found the Yeti's mysterious footprints measuring 32 by 15 inches, and the Army said it discovered the footprints of the mystical beasts.
बचपन में आपने किताबों में हिम मानव के बारे में जरूर पढ़ा होगा, लेकिन सवाल यह है कि क्या वास्तव में ऐसा कोई हिम मानव हिमालय पर रहता है? इस बारे में हमेशा ही तरह तरह के अनुमान लगाए जाते रहे। खास बात यह है कि अब भारतीय सेना ने भी इसकी मौजूदगी के संकेत दिए। भारतीय सेना ने पहली बार हिम मानव येती की मौजूदगी को लेकर कुछ सबूत पेश किए। भारतीय सेना ने ट्विटर पर कुछ तस्वीरें पेश की हैं, जिसमें बर्फ पर पैरों के बड़े निशान नजर आ रहे हैं। ऐसा कहा जा रहा है कि ये निशान हिम मानव येती के हो सकते हैं। भारतीय सेना की तरफ से किए गए ट्वीट में कहा गया है कि पहली बार भारतीय सेना की एक पर्वतारोही टीम ने मकालू बेस कैंप के करीब 32 इंच लंबे और 15 इंच चौड़े रहस्यमयी हिम मानव येती के पैरों के निशान देखे। ये मायावी स्नोमैन इससे पहले केवल मकालू बरून नेशनल पार्क में देखा गया है। एक छोटा सा ब्रेक, फौरन लौटते हैं।
First Indian Army mountaineering expedition to Mount Makalu, which is at 8,485 meters, consisting of 18 members, was flagged off from Delhi on 27th March 2019. The team began their journey towards the Makalu base camp on 2nd April 2019. While acclimatizing at Langmali Kharka on 9th April 2019, the team sighted a series of huge mysterious footprints measuring 32 inches by 15 inches. The footprints are speculated to be belonging to the elusive snowman Yeti. The mountain peak, Mount Makalu, got its name from the Sanskrit word Mahakala, which means big black, and is a by-name of Lord Shiva. Shiva is sometimes an evil, cruel destroyer, but at other times, he tends to be gentle and kind-hearted. The mountain has another name in the local dialect, Kumbhkaran, which means the giant. Makalu has proven to be a challenging climb, as only 5 of its initial 16 attempts were successful. Prior to its first ascent in 1955, it was admired and studied by several Everest expeditions, but like other giants in the Khumbu region, it was not attempted until the summit of the Everest was first climbed in 1953. In 1955, armed with modified and tested equipment, the French team climbed Makalu from the north face and northeast ridge. Via the saddle between Makalu and Kangjungste, the Makalu La, establishing what is now considered to be the standard route. It is in commemoration of previous superlative expedition feat that the gallant soldiers of Indian Army are embarking towards their first expedition to Mount Makalu. The team will climb the 5th highest mountain in the world, which is being led by Major Manoj Joshi and comprises of 4 officers, 2 JCOs and 11 other ranks. As a precursor to it, an expedition to Mount Kamet, which is at a height of 7,756 meters, Joshimath district, Shamoli, Uttarakhand, was conducted under the aegis of Army Adventure Wing in August-September 2018, followed by winter training in the Sundardunga Glacier. Kumar Himalayas during November-December 2018, where the team made the first recorded winter ascent on Mount Manoti, which is 5,645 meters high. First Indian Army mountaineering expedition to Mount Makalu, which is at 8,485 meters, consisting of 18 members, was flagged off from Delhi on 27 March 2019. The team began their journey towards the Makalu base camp on 2 April 2019. While acclimatizing at Langmali Kharka on 9 April 2019, the team sighted a series of huge mysterious footprints measuring 32 inches by 15 inches. The footprints are speculated to be belonging to the elusive snowman Yeti. The team has collected sufficient videos and photographic evidence. Makalu Barron National Park has been the traditional site wherein such footprints have been sighted in past. However, footprints in such large numbers have been sighted for the first time by the Indian Army expedition team. The team is presently at Makalu Base Camp and likely to attempt the Makalu Summit in the second week of May 2019 and is expected to de-induct to India by last week of May 2019 or the first week of June 2019. Evidences have been photographed and will be handed over to subject matter experts on return of the expedition. The idea is to share so that the issue can be addressed in a scientific way.